Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bracketball. My name is Drew Veach, bringing you the best college hoops analysis you'll ever find on the internet. So we're back with you for another week of college hoops offseason prep. I know we've talked about the NBA draft, we will talk about the NBA draft in the future. We'll get to other things in the future as we get closer and closer to the summertime for college athletics. There will be more transfer portal updates, more coaching updates, and all of the above. But for now, we're going to do the personal choice of my favorite this week, and we're going to talk about Kansas basketball. As a student at the University of Kansas and a longtime Jayhawk fan since 2015, I am super stoked to talk about this segment as a personal favorite of mine. I love talking about this team. I love this university, and I'm so passionate about this basketball program that is really what drives me to love the sport of college basketball. Obviously, as a KU fan, starting off, obviously the 2 seasons of preseason number 1 expectations, unable to reach up to those. Obviously, it's a huge deal here in Lawrence. There's a lot of agony around the team, a lot of hate towards Hunter Dickinson and other players this past season. Personally, I think it was just they did not mesh well together. But we have clean slate. Bill Self's coming back. He's not retiring. He's not going anywhere. And KU basketball will have a chance to actually compete next season without all the pressure on their shoulders. Obviously, being at KU, you're always going to have that type of pressure and expectation, as Bill Self and the University of Kansas always says, faces change, expectations don't. There's going to be a big home court advantage. We're expected not to lose a game ever at home. However, this team will finally be able to just play basketball and not supposed to be the number 1 team in the country and had that ranking beside their name. They'll get to just come in as a regular preseason ranked top 25 team with something to prove and a chip on their shoulder. So let's dive right into the roster outlook for next season, what went wrong this season as we get ready for a new season and potential new run of success in the Kansas basketball program. Starting things out, we'll take a look at how last year ended. Obviously, Kansas brought in a highly transferred roster. Obviously, it was a new roster with lots of hope for the upcoming season. Again, preseason number 1, this team even more promising than last year and even more disappointing it ended up being. Very sad as a KU fan. DeJuan Harris did not do what he needed at times. Dickinson struggled at times as well. Zeke Mayo was a really talented transfer that did well, but then ended up receiving a lot of hate from the fan base for whatever reason. A.J. Storr and Rylan Griffin were brought in and ended up being huge disappointments. Ended up finishing 21-13 in a loss in the first round to Arkansas. So obviously that hit close to home for me, being from Arkansas, not the greatest situation. However, we have a new slate. We have a new roster, and everything is with a chance for a fresh start. And I think that's huge to think about. Obviously, the big talk was you get rid of Dickinson, Adams, and Harris, who were not a good 3-headed horse throughout the entire season and the year before. Did not really work well together. A lot of issues with that roster in general. Bill Self has acknowledged the issues from before in the transfer portal, and now he's going to try to find the pieces to fit. And with this change, obviously, in how we approach the transfer portal as Kansas basketball program and fans, you have to look at the fact that it's kind of been a little bit of a slow start. We know that Aaron Peterson, the number 1 now overall recruit, according to 247, it's generally going to be one of the biggest Kansas basketball players we've had here since the Andrew Wigginses, since the Frank Masons, since the Devontae Grahams, the Ochai Abadjis, the Christian Browns, the Grady Dicks. But Darren Peterson is a pro. He could go play in the NBA right now, I have no doubt. So considering what he did this season with prolific prep and how great he looked in the McDonald's All-American game, winning MVP, and all of these things, it generally looks like Bill Self will give him the keys to this roster and let him take us as far as he can take us. And I do really think that that is important. Obviously, I'm a big believer in freshmen do not win in March, but I do genuinely believe that when you have a guy of his caliber, essentially like Cooper flagged for Duke this season, you can go as far as they will take you. And it's just about getting the pieces around them that will accurately fit the roster that I think is so crucial. So obviously bringing in Flory Badunga coming back was obviously gigantic. He entered the transfer portal and announced he might still come back to Kansas. It was very wishy-washy at times what he was actually going to do. Obviously might have been kind of entering the portal just to see how much money he could get from us. Not even sure how much we paid him, but whatever it was worth it. I think Badunga and Peterson are going to be the biggest duo to watch in college basketball next season. And I say that actually unbiasedly just because I know how athletic and how talented and gifted those guys are and how big of NBA potential players they could be. We obviously got Trey White out of the portal from Illinois. There were rumors that we would get Josh Dix. He ends up going to Creighton instead. Seems like a great fit for him. You have You have the transfer out of Loyola Chicago. It's just generally like Kansas is not used to getting these type of players, but I'm trusting that Bill Self will find the way for them to fit. Other than that, you don't return anybody that produced last season. I don't know that that's the end of the world. I kind of think that could be a good thing. We have not got a transfer in about a week now. Rumors that Melvin Council from St. Bonaventure is highly looked at. There's other guys we could potentially get. A lot of this thing is going to be a waiting game. See who's going to go in the draft. See who's going to go back to college. See who we can potentially get. I just think that you're looking at the opportunity to have just a fresh roster next season and have the chance to just start over if you're Kansas. I mean, it was really hard being preseason number one. Even as a fan perspective, we just had no doubt of what was going to happen. But genuinely, you end up with doubt as the season gets going, and you realize that you have to go play the games, and you have to win the games. There's a lot of hate from Bill Self this year, a lot of hate from other things, but it's just like you have to perform. And the ranking means nothing. When you get to March Madness, you have to perform. You can lose to a 16 seed. You can lose in the second round. It's just all about how you handle your business and how you keep the same focus mindset. So I really do think just a fresh start for KU basketball would be great. I'm excited to see what we're going to do, and I'm really excited for these upcoming pieces and see Darren Peterson and Flory Badunga in that pick-and-roll action this season in Allen Fieldhouse. Again, everyone, thank you for tuning in to Bracketball. It's another great episode here. Always remember, please hit the like button. Don't be afraid to subscribe. Put something down in the comments. It's just great to talk basketball with you guys again. Let me know if you have any suggestions on upcoming videos. We'll talk a little bit more about some other college basketball offseason things tomorrow and have the opportunity. And then slowly and surely we'll get into NBA draft previews. We will even have a coaches rank of the top 10 to 15 coaches currently in college basketball right now. You won't want to miss it. I'll give you analysis on why I have each coach of their current ranking. Again, this is current ranking, so it will be how I feel like they shape up in today's landscape of college basketball and also what they've done in their career. I know the offseason can be a little bit slow at times, but it's just the joy of getting excited to see what teams or what players these teams will be piecing together to get ready for the upcoming season and what coaches still have something to prove. Obviously, Houston's expect to have a great team back. Purdue as well. Both didn't go as far as they thought they could have, especially Houston, as they really were there to win the championship. Couldn't get it done. I just think there's so many great opportunities for so many great teams, and I'm so excited to see where this offseason takes us and I cannot wait till November. As always, it's Drew Veach on Bracketball, the best college hoops analysis you'll ever get on planet Earth. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.